Hey, Doug, how would you describe the last 48 or so hours for your team?
Bizarre. Uh, got a call the other night late that this might happen, and and I thought there's no way they would do something like this, and sure enough, we did, and really no prep. We're just heading on a plane same day and playing number one team in the country. So pretty bizarre uh, turn of events, and I know they're just trying to get games in, but there's a lot that goes into that, and everybody's just doing the best they can.
How did that come together, and just the fact that you get a phone call, and then when you find out that it's actually happening, I mean, what's the first steps that you guys have to do, and I guess how quickly do you have to run to the airport and stuff like that?
Uh, Prayer is always good as a first thing, but uh, Mississippi State is a machine in administrative work. There's so many people that are involved in something like this, so I can whine and complain all I want about it. I really need to thank people that can make stuff happen so fast. So administrators from Ann Carr, right down the line, our director of basketball operations, Ashley Morris, who has COVID, so she's working remotely, through our managers, and then our managers are stepping up. So, everybody had a piece in getting this thing to work out as well as it could, and I thought they did an outstanding job organization-wise.
Well, in a second, I'm going to go ahead and finish admitting a couple people. Robbie, go ahead.
Hey, Doug, y'all cut down on the three-pointers, but you just have so many open looks, you're just not able to knock those down right now. What do you think is the answer there to get some consistency, but also not try to rely too heavily on the three-point shot?
Yeah, we definitely need to make some. Just, with our size and everything, we need to have a balanced attack. But, those are open shots. And we have to give the kids confidence to know the right ones to take, and then live with the results on that. But that would have been a little different game, I think, if we could have maybe knocked down a few more of those, because it wasn't 35 of them; it was 17 pretty good looks that just didn't go down. I shouldn't say 17; it's probably about 13 or 14 really good looks that we needed to make. Maybe 50% of those to scare them.
John, go ahead.
Doug, how would you grade your team's ability to navigate through these last 24 hours, 48 hours? How would you assess? You kind of mentioned it a little bit there, but how would you assess how they responded to all of this?
Yeah, I think probably like everybody, including myself, a little bit of whining, a little bit of poor me, and I'm talking about myself. It's almost like a process. So we got that out of the way, and then we knew and we know that nobody really cares in terms of you're going to get pat on the back, oh, that was tough, that's a tough break. And then after that, nobody really cares. So it comes down to we have an opportunity to go play against a number one team in the country, and obviously it's our opening conference game too, so you're playing in the SEC. So then it just flips on you, and you start getting excited about the opportunity of things that we can do. And so, it started off slow, in terms of we didn't start out saying that this is a great opportunity. We started out saying, oh, no, are you kidding me? We got no prep. We're getting on an airplane. We're playing right away. And then we flipped it because you have to. We're all adults here. And by the time we were ready to play, we were pretty excited. So, if I was a grade of our team, I'd give them an A on that. I mean, they did a really nice job. No fake or false bravado beforehand. We knew this was going to be a challenge. It was more like a realistic attack on things that we could control. So we could control a little bit on how we were going to guard that post. We could control how we're going to space the floor and make them guard Anastasia Hayes in the middle of the floor. And so I was really proud of our team in that aspect.
Andy, go ahead.
You mentioned guarding the post. Leah Boston didn't have a big first half, and it really wasn't a huge presence the entire game. How do you kind of feel you guys did against her? With obviously she can be a mismatch to any team, not just.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody really does well against her. Her personality on the floor, I don't know her at all, but her personality on the floor reminds me a little bit of that really good player from Michigan that we went against. And they're really unfazed. They're pros. And, we put two people sitting on her lap, and she's not going crazy. She just knows that's part of it. That's what happens to good players. And she finds other people, or other people get advantages because of her. So, obviously I was really impressed with her in watching the tape that I've watched, and then coaching against her. Class act.
Robbie, go ahead.
Coach, we talked about the three-point shooting and the issues you've had there, but 12 of 13 from the line. Y'all have not shot the free throws well at times this year. Came out and really did that well. And also, I think one turnover in the second half. Do you like what you saw in that regard, especially the free throw shooting?
Definitely. And, we talked about that earlier in the season. Not so much with the team. I mean, we just keep shooting. We practice them. We put them in different situations. Sometimes you make too big of a deal over something like that. They stay tight all year long, and you end up being a poor free throw shooting team. I figured that number was going to start going up, and it has gradually. And then tonight, we needed every one of those, and I hope to do the same thing with the 3-point shooting. Is that if we're just jacking up horrible threes, those numbers will stay the same. If they know they're not going to get taken out, if they know that they need to take that shot, and we'll live with it if they miss. Their confidence tends to go up a little bit, and that would be my main goal with this team, just knowing the right ones to take.
And one more question. You start off SEC play against the number one team in the country right away. It's a good measuring stick game, I'm sure, but is there a little bit of pep in your team moving forward now? You can go up against the rest of the conference knowing that you went to South Carolina. You might not have played your best game, but you played them pretty tough, especially the last three quarters. Do you feel like you can really build off of this?
I hope so. That would be the goal. And I think everybody just gets a little more serious when conference play comes. They become a little bit, the focus narrows. Every practice means a little bit more to the kids. And so I think we had their attention for the small amount of time that we were able to prepare for this game. And then, we didn't have our centers to practice with since Christmas. They just got cleared yesterday. And we start Danae Carter, and she really did a good job because she really had just been sitting out for the last, 10 days without and not practicing with us. And the same thing with Raven Farley. So, I thought they competed well, did the best they could, and did as much with their mind as anything else because they just didn't quite have the lungs that they would normally have.
We'll wrap things up with John.
Okay, how nice is it going to be for your next game against Alabama that you're actually, all things considered, if it plays, you never know nowadays, but all things considered, you're going to be able to actually watch film and prepare and have, the traditional couple of days beforehand and not have a situation like this. It must be pretty nice, right?
Yeah, that'll be nice, unless I get a call late at night and say that they want us to come back to South Carolina just to play another one. But I think it'll be good. It's always good to get into rhythms and routines for everybody. And who knows if we'll ever have a rhythm or routine to this season. It doesn't look like it up to this point. So that if you can't have one, you just have to be good at flexibility and not be too type A personality. It's like we have to do it one way. We can only play this way. We have to play we have to have all of our centers. Some games we might not. That's just the nature of the game in the times that we're playing, is that whoever can, not panic under some trying times is probably gonna it's going to be beneficial for them, and I hope that's one of our strengths, is because we've played people all over the floor in different spots, and Anastasia can play a point guard, she can play an off guard, she can play either wing, but we haven't used her necessarily as the primary handler. You're going to bring the ball up the floor. We play with 2 point guards, but usually it's Maya that gets the ball first if it's a made basket. And she didn't bat an eye, which I didn't think she would, because she's done it in practice. And again, it's just that kind of flexibility is going to help us out down in conference play.